Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Fixing Up the Commonwealth, and we're back at County Crossing today, and we're going to tackle this structure here. We're not actually going to change it, we're going to build around and on top of it. And today's build is really influenced by Fallout 76 again, and a place called Motel. And myself and a Death Dancer were exploring Motel, and I loved the look of it, and so I thought I would do a little build that was influenced by that little settlement in Motel, in Fallout 76, sorry. And if you love wood, today's build is all about the wood, guys. It's all kind of going to work with the shack that's already there and just build on it, and it's very much an improvised build today. So what you see is exactly what happened as I figured things out. So let's get into the build menu. We do come under attack virtually straight away, and what I will say about this build is, you can hear it there, the final walkthrough will not be exactly what you see here, because we get attacked quite a number of times during this build. The last attack that happened was actually 2 death claws attacked the settlement, and I just stopped recording, and basically it froze the game and I hadn't saved, so I lost all of what you're about to see, so I had to rebuild it. So rather than re-record it, I'm going with this because this is pretty close to what I end up doing anyway, and oh God, I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest. So put a foundation down. You can see it's not quite the right height there, but I'm not too worried about it. It's a little step down. You don't really notice it in the final build, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And I'm going to put an entranceway right here, right now. And we're going to use all kinds of wood here. We're not going to alter anything about this this front area here of the original building. We will enhance it, but we won't alter it as such. We're going to do some decoration and various other things, but pretty much it's going to stay the same, and we'll build around it. And it's a good idea to do. It's an interesting idea to do and challenge yourself to see if you can do this kind of build. A lot of people will try and fill in the walls and with the mods that are match the building, and which is good, but I decided to do something just a fraction different. So there we go, the main entrance is in, and let's get some floors on so we can kind of start to measure how things are all going to work in here. And there we go. So that helps with the snapping. It's a little bit over, but I'm not too worried. We do end up altering the entranceway slightly. We make it a little bit smaller in the finished build, but I'm just trying to figure out how the stairs are all going to work here, and how the floor. So we're going to have an upper floor. I'm not going to tell you what this building is quite yet. In hindsight, I probably should have raised this up a fraction. You can see the beauty of this, because that's a Bethesda based asset, I can move around what I've just built and it won't affect it. I probably needed to raise this floor up just a fraction, and you'll see why in a little while, but anyway, we'll leave it as is for now. I wanted to move this across because it wasn't, the far floor wasn't quite lining up with the wall the way I wanted it to on this end. It's still overhanging just a fraction, so we'll just pull it back a little bit more, and we should be good. I'm going to try and get it as close to that. You can see that kind of edge of that wrecked wall. I want to get as close to that as possible, but you can see it keeps flicking up. So with everything in Fallout 4, sometimes you just don't need to compromise, get as close as possible. Persistence sometimes is the key, just nudging it along. There we go, see how that dropped in. I've finally dropped in, and that's much better. That lines up much closer to where I wanted it to be. Okay, so far so good. So this build, I had an idea what I wanted to build as far as the physical, the building and the functionality of the building. I had a rough idea how I wanted it to look, and that's about it. I just started building, and what you see, what transpires is transpires, big word, is basically how I built it, given that I'd had to build it twice. But anyway, I don't know about you, and I think I've spoke about this before. I can never build something the same way twice anyway. So obviously when you're improvising like this, you learn lots of stuff about that particular build, and again, if you have to rebuild it, you've learned all the areas. Now you see this won't snap on like that. That's where I should have probably lifted it up just slightly. But anyway, what we'll do is we'll just snap off to the side and do this and work our way around it. It's just another way of doing it. I'm thinking about how this is all going to work now. You can see the reason I changed the main entrances is a bit too close to the boundary for me. So again, I'm just thinking on how this best's going to work and blah blah blah. Okay, so the upper floor is going well, and we're going to do a typical Bethesda build where the entranceway into a building is not kind of directly. You have to go through a little bit of a maze or a little bit of a alternate route to actually get it to work. So that's what we're doing here. That's not going to fit in there. Can't move the stairs. If I move them across, will clip into that building there, which I think is what I end up doing anyway. So you can see it's sitting on the building at the far end, but at this end it's underneath it. So the way to do it is just to pick it all up and just raise it up. Obviously the base that I'm using at the front door is a foundation piece, so that would work well. And again, I'm trying some ideas here to make it look a little bit different, and this is a favourite of mine, using that end cap just as a little kind of way of doing that. I think I have to take it out because of what I'm about to do next. So let's get some of these outer shack walls on, and I'm going to make a series of rooms up here. There we go, like that. And what ends up doing, I have to extend this in the end because it ends up to be too short, but that's okay. We'll put those in there for now, and let's just see where it takes us. One in there, and you can see it kind of, that end cap actually restricts it. I can't actually put that in there, but that's okay. We'll get 2 rooms at this. These end up being, like I said, too short, so I have to end up putting a floor in here to extend that. This should by rights clip in there. It doesn't, it's a knob, so it takes me a while to get it in there, and you can see I've been distracted already. So we're going to put walls like that in there for now. But anyway, back to the upper level. While I'm in, the reason I do that sometimes is an idea will occur to me, number one. Number two, I'm in that menu anyway, so I might as well manipulate it as such and just see if it'll work. So those all fit in there like that. The only problem is this is way too narrow, so we're going to have to fix that. Pretty easy fix actually. We're just going to push these out by one half floor. So we'll just drop down, pull these off, put the half floor in, put them back in like that. Make sure we don't put that on his head, and just like this eventually, maybe. Here we go. And then we'll put that back on, and we'll do the same on the other side. That's it, that works. Yep, all good. Push that one across like that, do the same, rinse and repeat, and we're good. Okay, working well. So, what to do next? Put a roof on probably, or some walls, and just box this in a little bit. Now, the end caps for this, you can see it won't fit in there. The trick to do is pull this one off. it will fit in there if you spin it round the right way. Yeah, we'll spin this middle bit, it won't. So what you need to do is this. You could do that and use place anywhere, but there is an easier way to do it, and I will figure it out eventually. Put that down for a sec. It occurs to me that yeah, I'm doing it completely the wrong way, but this is the difficult way, because see, there it is, it's the light bulbs come on. Just stick it over there for now. Yep, that's fine. So put this end cap wall in first, then snap it on, and there you go, presto, it works. Who knew? Who knew? And then you can just snap that one on the end like that. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So these are going to be a couple of rooms here, and yeah, just put these half walls on and we should be good, as he said, famous last words. These should snap there. The one in the middle I think is a bit of a knob, but anyway, it wouldn't be a Fallout 4 build if we didn't have some drama. Ooh. Yep, no, actually snapped in there for me for some reason. The last one will probably not snap on. Oh no, it did. Wow, things are going swimmingly. That's good. As opposed to the last build we done, which everything fought me, but it's always a challenge to try and get something to look interesting with wood. I find wood kind of all starts to look the same, and because it's vanilla, it's, you know, everybody's using it, and but anyway, I think this ends up looking pretty nice, pretty unique. That's not the one I want. I want the next one across that one. Let it snap in there. Like, come on. Come on. There we go, just like that. And this is quite tight, and the angle's quite tight, so some of this you have to do just by feel and hope it will snap into the right place. But that did. That's all good. All looking good so far. That won't go there, mate. No, told it. I'm just going to have to leave that there for now. We'll put a railing or something in there to stop us falling over. Yeah, great minds think alike. Look at that. There we go. And we'll just put all these railings across here for now. Like I said, this changes a fair bit in the end, so ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So I end up looking, going, maybe I need to move the stairs, move this across like that, and then I can get one of those in there like this, hopefully, he said, optimistically. There we go, done. Let's go and have a look. Yep, it's starting to come together quite nicely. Be careful if you're trying to scrap anything in here, because yeah, you might end up scrapping the whole house. And unfortunately, Fallout 4 doesn't have a undo button, which I think it should have, but it's just my personal point of view. I don't think Fallout 76 has one either, because we do make mistakes, and it would be kind of nice to have an undo button. But anyway, bit late in the cycle now as far as the game goes. I mean, it's about 3 years old now, so over 3 years old. So yeah, it's all looking quite nice. We're going to build in under here as well. I'll put these supports in for now just to see how it looks, but we do end up building underneath as well. That goes there, and that needs to go across there, but there's a truck in the way. That did want to snap though. You saw it, didn't he? There you go. Oh, that's weird. No, never mind. Never seen a thing. Yep. All good. Okay, so we need to get some foundations down. Run back and forward. Some thinking time. And then we will get some foundations underneath, and we'll start to build the next part of the building, I guess. So what I'm doing here is I'm just measuring to see that we can actually get a wall underneath here. Which we can. Okay, so major faffage later, we'll start to get some walls on. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You can either put the walls on first, or you can put the foundations on. Either or, doesn't really matter. So put that on there, and then the foundation will just snap to that, hopefully. Dogmeat is in the way, but we will fix him up in a while. So initially I go with these foundation pieces, but I end up going with the concrete ones in the end. You see he's in the way there. And his head's sticking through now. There we go. A couple of these singles, and that actually fits perfectly on the edge there. That's actually a nice size. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to configure the rooms, hence why I've just done that, and make sure that those floors are all kind of look as they should be there. So I'll come back in a minute once we get all these floors down and get rid of Dogmeat. So here we go. We're going to start working on the walls now in this area. So this area here is going to be a little bit enclosed. It's going to be a kind of transitional area through to some of the rooms downstairs. So we're going to put this in here for now, like that. Should try and get that as close as possible as we can. Hopefully today sometime. There we go, like that. Yep. And that will serve as a kind of walkway down through there. There we go, just stick that on there like that. Now, can I get an end cap to fit in there? So I'm trying some ideas here. None of which really works. So then I go and say, well, can I get an end cap to sit in there like that? Sort of, maybe that will. Ooh. Thought about it for a second. Wants to snap up for some reason. Let's see if we can improvise a little bit. So I want that to snap towards me, which is not going to it's going to be a knob, isn't it? It's going to be a knob, and it's not going to snap where we want it to, but we'll convince it to. They're pretty soft, these walls, luckily, and you will get them to like that. So either do that or change the angle, because what we're going to do is we're going to make a little enclosed area where the stairs are. See how soft those are? They'll still turn green even though they're kind of snapping into each other. And then we're going to make a wall running the opposite way. So this is a little enclosed area now. In the final build, this is a little bit different, but essentially the idea is the same. Sometimes what you need to do is what I've just done there. Snap a wall on. Just trying to find that joining part so that this will line up like that. Now you can do this with the pillar if you need to. I'm doing it with place anywhere obviously, but you could do it with the pillar quite easily. There we go. So working pretty well so far. Just see if we need to put a roof in. You try all these different things as well. You can try and put that roof in there like that. And then what you could effectively do is just snap the walls off like that. There you go. There is a small gap there, but this is probably an easier way of doing it actually. If I put that roof on first, oh, that'll snap in like that. Look at that. Looks like I bought one. The only problem you might have is coming down that stairway. I don't know how high that roof is. There we go. So we've done such a good job at doing that, we're now locked ourselves out really, haven't we? Let me just push that out of the way. But it is coming together. Try a couple of things here, just for the overall look of it. I don't think this works, but we'll try it anyway. Yeah, I'm going to have to go all the way around. I could have pushed that wall through though. Just see how it all works. It's always good to do this because you can see I've just found a problem there with the wall. But I can actually get down the stairs there. That works. See, that's not going to work, but that works. So I can get underneath. That's the main thing you got to worry about, is whether you can actually physically get underneath or not. Having gaps is not an issue because of the type of build we're doing. There we go, see? Always be having a look to see if that's going to impact your ability to get upstairs or not. And we come back. Dogmeat hasn't moved. I have to actually go and get a turret and move him out of the way in a second. Because he's just being, as you can see, an absolute douchebag. However, by the magics of editing, and you can see the turret there, that's what I used to move Dogmeat out of the way. I've got him out of the way. Now, initially I think maybe I should run it to there. I'll actually end up running that floor all the way through. You'll see in a sec. But we're trying just to see what will fit in here. What makes sense. What I wanted to do is put these end caps in like that, but it actually doesn't work. So I end up doing this instead and then putting some floors in. Change it. Vary up what you're going to put in there, and presto, we just need the single wall in there and it will work beautifully. So jumping around a little bit, guys, sorry, but it's there's lots of kind of repetition in this and lots of figuring out. This is basically raw footage, so some of the stuff is just for me figuring it out for about 20 minutes, so not exactly entertaining TV. So we need to just plug up these gaps in the wall there. I'm going to kind of leave them. I'm just going to plug them up a couple of walls here. I'm not going to completely cover them. I really just want to see if this will snap in, and then that will give me something to work with. See, it sort of wants to snap in, but it's yeah. So persistence, sometimes you just got to be persistent and find that right angle. You can see so in the end I just do this. Sometimes if you do this, look down, it actually helps. So once you get one of these in, you can just snap things off it like this, as you're about to see. And I like to vary them up just to vary the whole overall look. That's also not going to snap, so we're going to have to do the same thing. So it's rinse and repeat. Block up the wall. See, just try. See, there you go. Sometimes it's just the angle that you get at. You don't want somebody looking through from reception while you're sleeping, really, do you? Get rid of that. I've got this last wall in, and then we will go to the tour. So now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to figure out how the rooms are going to work. And yeah, it takes me a while to get this done. So why don't we leave it there and come back, and you'll see what happens when I get all these rooms configured and finish off this build. See you in a sec. Okay, here we go. Here is the Hotel County Crossing. You see it's right on the crossroads there. So travellers coming down this way or along this way can just wander in here. Traders are welcome, as you can see, and hitch up for the night. A bit more comfy than just the fire across there. So let's move inside. Got a little bit of work to do. I've got to move that back a bit, but so you can see, come to the reception desk. Yes, I'd like a room for the night. There's some areas you can just kind of sit in here. Baths left over. I haven't touched any of the original features really. I've just added things to them. Yeah, that needs to be moved. Little sitting area here. And then so once you have once you've checked in, you can go up to your room. Kept these rooms really open, no doors. Again, I've got to fix that. They're just single rooms, very much in the vein of Motel in Fallout 76. Nice and simple. Little seating area here, and you can see it's all open. I've used the original building and just built on top of it, but all very nice and open. So there's 3 rooms up here. These are very the budget rooms, and then you drop down this way, as Dogmeat just demonstrated. Do a bit of a dog leg through here. There's the workshop there. There's a fridge if you get hungry in the middle of the night. And we have a couple of deluxe rooms down here. There we go. Because they have got a seat in them, that's why it makes them deluxe. There we go. So very much in the vein of the hut that's already in County Crossing, and I'll show you around the outside in a sec. So very much kind of working with the settlement as such. So I've added a whole lot of bits and bobs, but there were cars and stuff here already. So see, that factory doesn't look out of place, does it? And yeah, just trashed it up a little bit, but you can see it works. The bonfire's kind of in the way. It works with this hut there, and that's kind of what I was going for, so that it all kind of blends in nicely. So I hope you've enjoyed this part of the build. Next part of the build, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do, but we'll figure something out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya.